Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to show you guys what I packed for lunch this week. I began by preparing my juice of the week, and I actually don't buy any store-bought juices anymore. I just buy the fruits separately and blend them up myself. I'm doing some oat milk, bananas, and strawberries. And I'm just blending this all together. And believe it or not, I really did like the smoothie, but I prefer my vegetable smoothies with like carrots and beets and spinach and all those veggies. I don't know, I guess I'm really growing up. I'm also adding 3 tablespoons of brown sugar to my smoothie and blending it all together. I'm pouring my juice into my mason jars, and I lay out 5 mason jars usually, one for each day of the week, but this time I did 6 because I wanted some juice that same night. Now I lid all my mason jars and store this in the fridge. On Monday I had a very simple sandwich. I laid out 3 pieces of bread and spread it with some mayonnaise and a little bit of ketchup so that I could get that mayo ketchup taste. Now I'm adding some provolone cheese and stacking some turkey. I'm splitting this in half and adding it to my little bento lunchbox. For a side snack, I'm gonna have this mango I found at Aldi. It was around like 71 cents and I was so excited because I really miss the mangoes from Dominican Republic. And this one did taste pretty good. I'm adding half of this mango in my little lunchbox container and storing the rest away. And I'm also having some fudge cookies on the side. And my favorite part about this lunch was definitely the mango. For Tuesday's lunch, I'm peeling and I'm cutting some potatoes, and I'm chopping these into little square pieces because I'm gonna roast these in the air fryer. And I'm gonna season my potatoes with a little bit of olive oil and some ranch seasoning. And this little ranch pack I actually found at the seasoning aisle at my store, and I'm just making sure to blend all these flavors together so that all the potatoes are coated. I'm laying this out in my air fryer and I'm separating them so that they have room to cook, and I'm leaving it in the air fryer until it smells like they're ready. Next, I'm chopping up some sausage and boiling 4 eggs. When my potatoes were about halfway done, I put them to the side and added my kielbasa sausage, and then I popped that back in until the sausage was ready as well. Now to plate my little lunchbox, I'm putting in my potatoes, which are nice and golden, and I'm chopping my eggs in half and placing them on my bento box. And one of them didn't fit, so I just ate it. I'm seasoning my eggs with some olive oil, some vinegar, and a little bit of salt. Now I'm just fitting my sausages right in between. For my side snack, I decided to peel 2 mandarin, and I added a couple of fudge cookies. In between that, I'm adding some trail mix, and this is cashews, pineapples, and cranberries, and almonds. I'm also squirting some ketchup on a little box for my potatoes. Lastly, I'm gonna have this with my strawberry banana smoothie that I made on Sunday night. That same night when I came home from school, I decided to make shepherd's pie, so I chopped and I boiled some potatoes. I also cut up some red bell pepper, carrots, red onions, and cilantro, and this is going to be fresh veggies for my meat. I'm also laying out my seasonings for my meat. I have some black pepper, some Dominican seasoning that I blended, oregano, adobo, garlic powder, onion powder, and some tomato sauce. I'm warming up some vegetable oil in my pan, and I'm gonna cook up some fresh ground turkey. This is 93% lean turkey, and I'm just gonna break this up in my pan and cook it just a little bit. Now I'm just adding all of my seasonings that I mentioned previously. Now I'm going to add my fresh vegetables, starting with my red onions, my red peppers, and the chopped carrots. And I'm mixing this all together and putting a lid on it until my carrots get a little bit soft. Now that my carrots are cooked a little bit, I added some frozen corn, and this is just sweet corn that I had in my fridge. And now I'm adding my chopped cilantro, and this is just full of color. The veggies make such a big difference. Now I'm adding a little bit of chicken broth. To this chicken broth, I'm adding a flour slurry, and I usually make this with cornstarch, but I didn't have cornstarch, so I used flour. And I'm just adding this so that the sauce can thicken just a little bit. At this point, my potatoes are done boiling, and I'm adding some butter. I'm also seasoning this with some garlic powder, some black pepper, and some milk for creaminess. I added 2 slices of provolone cheese, and I'm mashing this up with the masher I used to mash garlic and mofongo, because I realized I don't have a potato masher, but I'm not gonna buy one because this works just as fine. Now I'm just laying out my meat and layering that with potato. Next I'm gonna do another layer of meat, and then I'm gonna top this off with a final layer of potato. Finally, I'm gonna add some cheese on top, and this is the Mexican blend, and I'm doing this mostly for a nice color to form on the surface. And I'm adding this to my oven, and I'm gonna take it out when it smells like it's ready. My shepherd's pie is out the oven and it smells delicious. It looks very pretty, and I just served it up for dinner. This is how it looks on a plate, and this was absolutely delicious. I was so happy with it. I also packed some for the next day for Wednesday's lunch. On Wednesday, my second mango was ripe, so I decided to cut it up and slice it and have it as a side snack. I'm also taking my shepherd's pie out of the fridge and putting everything inside of this bag that I take for lunch. I'm wrapping up some cutlery into a napkin and adding that in as well. Now I'm refilling my water bottle with cold water, and I take this every day to lunch. On Thursday, I prepared my lunch after class, and I decided to make use of the leftover fried rice I had in the fridge, and I'm gonna pair this with some salmon. And these are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using, as well as some broccoli on the side. I am starting off by peeling 2 garlic cloves and finely chopping them. And I'm going to use this garlic for my broccoli and my tilapia. Now I'm rubbing my tilapia with some olive oil and just putting some of this garlic on top and rubbing it in. I'm seasoning my tilapia with some adobo, some oregano, and some black pepper. Just very simple ingredients. Now I'm warming up some olive oil in my skillet and just adding my tilapia to cook on one side. And while that side is cooking, I'm gonna start on my broccoli. I put down some olive oil and just a little bit of water for my broccoli to steam. I then added my leftover garlic and some soy sauce. I'm mixing this, and I'm gonna put a lid over it and let them steam slowly. Now I flip my tilapia over to the other side to let that cook evenly. And I'm gonna add some lime juice around it and a little bit more water. Then I'm gonna close this so that it could steam and cook all the way through. I'm adding a little bit of brown sugar to my broccoli just to balance out the saltiness of the soy sauce. Once my broccoli was done, I warmed up my leftover rice and I plated everything in my little lunchbox. And even though I had this meal at home, I put it in my lunchbox anyways because I wanted everything separated just so that I could eat it easier. I did put down 2 slices of lime juice to squeeze over my tilapia because I love fish and lime, and this lunch was so good. Friday was an eventful weekend, so I had Bojangles for dinner and I had Five Guys for lunch, and I didn't feel bad eating out because I was at a football game and this was the first time I had eaten out in a long time because I had been packing my lunches. So there you go.